I'm going to give you 5 AI prompts that's going to save you at least 5 hours this week. Not complicated, not fancy, not advanced prompt engineering, just 5 simple copy and paste prompts that every South African business owner needs and should have saved somewhere. I tested these over the last 5 months in my own work and then with other business owners. They work, they're practical, and that you can use them today. So grab a pen or open your notes app. Let's go. I'm Arno van Zyl, and before we dive into this video, let me explain to you what this video is not. This is not a masterclass in prompt engineering. This is not advanced AI techniques. And this is not a course on becoming an AI expert. What this is, though, is 5 simple prompts that solves the 5 most common problems in South African businesses: decision paralysis, email overwhelm, meeting prep, problem solving, and strategic thinking. Here's my philosophy on AI prompts. Most people just completely overcomplicate them. They spend hours learning frameworks and techniques when they should just be using AI to get work done. So these 5 prompts are intentionally simple. These prompt downloads that you get with 10,000 prompts, no one has time for that. These one, you just copy them. You paste them and you customize them with your own details. And they work. That's it. I'm going to give you each prompt, show you how to use it, and give you a real example of when to use it. And at the end, I'll give you a document with all 5 prompts that you can download and keep. Let's start with the immediate useful one. Prompt number 1, the decision clarity prompt. This one is for when you're stuck on a decision. And sometimes it's hard. I mean, you list the pros and cons and you still can't make a clear decision. It's big or small, it doesn't matter. Should I hire this person? Should I invest in this software? Should I launch this new service? Or should I change my pricing? You're going in circles. All you need is clarity. And here's the prompt to give it to you. Okay, so here is the prompt. Now, this is what it looks like in broad strokes, and then I'm going to go into a little bit more detail. I'm deciding whether to, and then you put your decision there. Then the context, give it some context. Key factor 1, key factor 2, key factor 3. Help me think through this decision by identifying what I'm actually optimizing for, what outcome matters the most, listing the second order consequences I might not be considering, asking me 3 clarifying questions that will expose my assumptions, and giving me a simple decision framework to apply. Don't tell me what to decide. Help me think clearly about the decision. So why this works? You're not asking AI to make the decision for you. You're asking it to help you think about the decision. AI is really good at identifying what you're trying to optimize for. Often you're conflating different goals, spotting consequences that you haven't thought about, and asking questions that expose your assumptions. So use this in a real example. So I used this prompt when I was trying to decide whether I should launch a paid workshop before I had client testimonials. So my prompt looks something like this. I'm deciding whether to launch a paid workshop on factory floor redesign. The context is I don't have any client case studies yet. I'm worried whether people will trust me without proof, but I need revenue now. And then the rest of the prompt. Let's see what it says. Then it gives you this quite unique answer. I mean, it goes through the whole dilemma of what you're trying to optimize for, the second order consequences, what could happen if it went wrong, depending on which decision you made, then the clarifying questions to challenge my assumptions, and then a simple decision framework. So what it basically came down to was, what is the real risk? Is it that people won't buy, or that I'll deliver a bad workshop and then ruin my reputation? That question exposed my assumption. I was conflating no proof with no value. I could deliver value even without the case studies. I just needed to position it as a learning experience, not as a proven methodology. That clarity helped me to decide that yes, launch it, but frame it honestly. The result was clarity in 5 minutes and not agonizing about this decision for days. This prompt alone saves you hours of mental spinning and trying to run on a treadmill deciding whether yay or nay. So, prompt 2, and this one is something that a lot of people will probably need. And this is the email response generator. This one is for email overwhelm. You get an email, you know what you want to say, but it takes you about 15 minutes to write it down and format it properly and in a professional tone or whatever. You're trying to get the tone right, the structure, professionalism, and it takes you a lot of time. So here's the prompt. I've received this email. Then you paste the whole email right here at the bottom. I want to respond with these key points. Point 1, point 2, point 3. You basically list the points that you want to mention in this email. You don't need to write it down nicely. You just list the points that you want to mention. Tone is professional, friendly, direct, or apologetic. Specify the tone in what you want this reply to be in. Friendly, conversational, whatever. If it's a professional email, do it professional. If it's some bad news that you have to give a client, do it apologetic but still professional or enthusiastic, whatever. And then draft a response that addresses all their points, maintains the tone as specified, is concise, under 150 words. No one wants to read a damn essay. And ends with a clear next step. Give me two versions, one more formal and one more casual. So why this works? You're not asking AI to think for you. You already know what you want to say. You're just asking AI to help you say it well. And AI is really good at that. It's great at structuring responses properly, at matching the tone, and being concise. And it's often way more concise than what we can be. So last week, a potential client emailed me just inquiring about my pricing. But they also mentioned that they're just exploring options. I wanted to respond helpfully, but also not too salesy. So my prompt was, I received this email, and then I pasted the email. I want to respond with, my pricing is 950 Rand for the power hour, 75 for the assessment. Happy to chat if you're just exploring. No pressure, but spots are limited. Tone, friendly, helpful, not pushy. And then the rest of the prompt. AI gave me two versions. I tweaked the one that I liked the most. I think I changed maybe one sentence, and that was it. And I sent the email. The total time for that email took me around 2 minutes instead of 10 to 15, trying to figure out how to phrase it properly. Now, if you write a lot of emails daily, which I know some of you guys do, multiply that by 10, 20 times and see how the time that it saves you adds up at the end of the day. This prompt is pure time savings. Now, prompt number 3, meeting prep accelerator. You have a meeting in 30 minutes, an important client, a tough conversation, or just a presentation. You need to prep, but you can't overthink it. Here's the prompt. So here's what the prompt looks like. I have a meeting in, then you give the time frame with whoever. The purpose of the meeting is, then you give what the meeting is about. I want to achieve goal 1 and goal 2. The potential challenges are challenge or objection, if there's going to be some objections from their side. Help prepare by suggesting an opening that establishes the right tone, anticipating 3 questions they're likely to ask and then how to answer, giving me 3-point structure to keep the conversation focused, and drafting a strong closing that drives the next steps, whatever the next steps are. Keep it practical. I have limited prep time. So why this works? Meeting prep time generally takes between 30 minutes to an hour. With this prompt, you get 80% of the value in about 5 minutes. The AI helps you structure your thinking, anticipate objections, and have confidence when you go into the meeting. Here's a real example. About 2 weeks ago, I had a customer that was interested in the sprint package. But I could tell from their emails that they were a little bit hesitant about the price. I had 20 minutes to prep. My prompt was, I have 20 minutes with a potential client. The purpose was a discovery call for the AI sprint. What I want was understand their needs, present the sprint as a solution, close or at least get a commitment for the next step. The potential challenges that I foresee them get was they think that 35K is expensive, which it is if it's a small business, and that they're not sure whether they need a full sprint or not. And then help me prepare the rest of the prompt. AI suggested, as an opening, before I talk to you about what I have to offer, tell me what you're currently spending time on that feels unnecessary. This was brilliant because it reframed the conversation from the get-go from cost of my program to value of what it means to them. The anticipated question, why 35K? Then AI gave me a suggested answer. Because we're not just implementing tools that you get off the shelf, we are redesigning systems. The time we save you pays for itself within 2 to 3 months, and that is a continuous saving. I used that exact framing, and the client ended up signing up. This prompt turns scattered thoughts into confident preparation. Use it before every important meeting, and you'll see that it just gives you a little bit more clarity and confidence walking into the next meeting. Now, prompt number 4, the problem solver framework. This one is for when you're stuck in a business problem. Not a decision, an actual problem. Revenue is down, client retention is dropping, team is overwhelmed, or the marketing isn't working. Actual problems. Here, you need to think through this systematically. And here's a prompt to help you do that. So, here is the prompt. I'm facing this problem, and then describe the problem, but describe it properly, like give enough details so that the AI can understand the context of the actual problem. What I've already tried, attempt 1, attempt 2, help me solve this by 1, reframing the problem. Am I solving the right problem or just a symptom? Identify 3 root causes I might not be seeing, suggesting 3 approaches I haven't tried yet, and then asking me 2 diagnostic questions to clarify what's really going on. Be direct, challenge my assumptions if needed. So, why this works? Most problems aren't actually what you think they are. You think, I need more clients. The real problem is my onboarding is so slow, I can't handle more clients. Or you think my team is overwhelmed. But the real problem is that you are spending 40% of your time on electric belts, things that shouldn't exist. AI is really good at reframing problems and asking diagnostic questions. So here's a real example from my side. In my first 3 months, I thought my real problem was I'm not getting enough leads. So I tried posting more on LinkedIn, reaching out to more people, posting more on Facebook. Nothing worked. So I tried this prompt, and this is actually how I got to it. And I said the following: I'm facing this problem, not getting enough qualified leads. What I've tried, and then I said daily LinkedIn posts, daily Facebook posts, reaching out to more people, help me solve this, and then the rest of the prompt. Gemini then asked me, are you sure the problem is lead volume, or is it the quality of the leads and the conversion? That sort of stopped me in my tracks. I actually was getting leads, so people were signing up for my lead magnets and they're coming into my system, but they just weren't converting. The real problem in the end was that my messaging wasn't clear enough. People didn't quite understand what I was doing and what I was offering. So instead of more leads, I needed a clearer positioning. Just knowing this insight completely changed my approach. This prompt helps you solve the real problem, not just treat the symptoms. And use it when you're stuck. You'll be amazed at the insights it gives you. So prompt number 5, the strategic thinking partner. This is one of my favorites and I use it often. This is for when you need to think big. Not to solve a problem or make a decision, just think about something. Strategize about your business, your overall strategy, your direction that you want to go to, anything that's really big and challenging that challenges your mindset. So here's the prompt. I want to think strategically about, and then you add in whatever topic you want to think about. Current situation is where you are now, your key constraints, and what you're trying to optimize for. I need you to be my thinking partner. Don't give me advice. Instead, ask me 5 deep questions that challenges my assumptions. Point out potential blind spots in my thinking, play devil's advocate on my current approach, and help me see this from 3 different angles that I have not considered. Push me, be direct. This is strategic thinking, not hand-holding. So why does this one work? Strategic thinking always requires you to challenge your own assumptions. A lot of time when we make a decision or we think about something, we use what is familiar to us, what we know. But when you need to think outside the box, it is very hard to challenge your own way of thinking or your own knowledge. And AI can push you in ways that other people can't, or you can't push yourself generally. Because for AI, it's not personal, it's not political. It just asks objective questions that you need to hear. So, as a personal example, last month I was trying to figure out, should I focus on business to business or should I focus on business to customer, B2B or B2C? And the B2B is this what I'm doing now, and the B2C is the AI education for families and teens and all that sort of stuff. I was a little bit intimidated by this thinking because both of them to me is personal, and I think both of them are really equally important. So the prompt that I used was, I want to think strategically about my target market. Under current situation, I listed the following. I've been trying to serve both businesses and families. I have more experience in business, but I have more passion for serving families, and revenue is my constraint now. I need you to be my thinking partner, wada wada wada, rest of the prompt. So The response was, what if it isn't an either or decision? What if you chose one primary for revenue and one secondary for mission? What would happen if you went all in on one for 6 months and proved it worked before adding the other? And are you splitting focus because both are valuable or because you're afraid to commit? That last question hit quite hard. And this is the thing I like about AI. If you don't let it coddle you, it does ask you the hard questions, which is sometimes quite hard for you to hear. And it's the things that you sometimes don't want to admit to yourself either, even though deep in the back of your mind you know this. I was splitting the focus because I was too scared to choose. This clarity that I gained from this prompt led me to focus on business to business for revenue and then keep the B2C business side for families as about 20-25% of my business. And this one fulfills my mission because I've got a teenage daughter. So for me, helping teens and families cope with the changes AI brings, it's a personal thing. Clear strategy. No more spinning around and wondering what to do. Use this when you need someone to push your thinking. It's like having a strategic advisor on call 24/7. It really helps you making decisions and pushing your limits and boundaries. And this is what I really appreciate AI for. All right, so these are the 5 prompts that I think every business owner in South Africa, in the world, should use often enough. 1 is for decision clarity. 2 is the email response generator. 3 is the meeting prep accelerator. 4, the problem solver framework. And 5, the strategic thinking partner. Now, here's how to customize them for your business. Tip 1 is add context about your business. At the start of any prompt, add about 1 to 2 sentences just briefly about who you are and what you do. I'm your role running then your business in Cape Town. Why? It gives you better responses if it actually knows who you are and what you're doing. Not necessarily who you are, but what your role is and the business context that you are operating in. Tip 2 is specify your tone. If you want a response in a certain style, say so. I prefer direct, no BS language, be brutally honest, challenge my assumptions, coddle me like I'm a Gen Z, whatever you want to say. It will do it that way for you. Tip 3 is ask for multiple options. Instead of just one response, ask it for 2 to 3. Then you pick the best one. Look at all 3, dissect them, think about what are the 3 options and weigh them up against one another. Give me 3 versions, 1 conservative, 1 bold, and 1 somewhere in the middle. And then you pick what resonates most with you. And then tip 4, iterate. This is one of the things with prompting is if the first response isn't quite what you wanted it to be, tweak it a little bit and see how it changes the prompt and then iterate until you get something that feels you can resonate with that. You can say things like, okay, cool, that's helpful, but can you tweak it this way to make it more specific or more concise or more strategic? And then AI learns from that feedback and it will adapt the rest of the conversation accordingly. And then tip 5, save your best prompts. I've got a Google Sheet with all my GPT prompts that I use often because it's a mission to keep on retyping them and I just fill in the blanks. If it works well, save it. I just copy and paste mine and customize them for each given situation. And it saves me from reinventing the wheel. If I find something that works, I keep it, I save it, and I reuse it time and time again. So before we wrap up this one, let me explain to you the 3 most common mistakes that I see that people make with prompts. Mistake 1 is being too vague. A bad prompt is something like, help me with business strategy. AI can't help with that. It is way too vague. Remember, it has the whole internet in its brain, and you have to direct where or from which angle it should think of. And if you just ask a vague question like that, it's going to give you a vague answer. There's a thing called garbage in, garbage out, and that is very, very true of AI prompts. A good prompt in this case would be, I'm deciding to add a new service line. Here's my context, and then you give it a context. Help me think through this by, and then give it clearer instructions. Specific context equals a useful response. Mistake 2 is expecting AI to do your thinking. And when it comes to working with teenagers, this is something that I'm very anal about. AI shouldn't think for you. You shouldn't use it as a replacement. You should use it as a co-pilot, as something that challenges you, that challenges your assumptions, your thinking, and you use it as a partner, not as a replacement. You still need to know what you want to achieve. You can't just ask AI to make it up for you. Make the final decision. Apply your own judgment. Don't let AI decide for you. I actually had a call this morning where someone mentioned an example about Blockbuster, VHS, and Betamax videos. For those of you that's too young to know what those are, sorry for you, you're not going to get this example. But if you put that into ChatGPT and ask it to work you out a business plan about it, it's going to work out the best business plan for you on how to create a Blockbuster VHS franchise, but it misses the context of it actually knowing that VHS doesn't exist anymore. It's not a thing. It's now digital and streaming and all those sort of things. So you have to still use your own judgment. Don't let AI make decisions for you. Give it the prompts and let it feed your imagination a little bit. Let it wake up the questions inside you. Don't just take the answers for granted and say, okay, cool, this one. AI helps you think better. It shouldn't think for you. And then mistake number 3, using the free response without editing. AI gives you a draft, not the final product. You still need to read it critically because it does hallucinate, it does make mistakes, it does say things that you don't necessarily want said. And then you customize it for your voice. Check it for accuracy. If there's something specific about your industry, about your business, make sure those facts are correct because someone else is going to read that and it's going to be a reflection of you. Think of AI like this really eager intern that does the work for you, and most of the time it's 80% right, but you still have to check up on the work. You do the final 20% and make it perfect. So those are the 5 AI prompts. Simple, practical, and copy and paste ready. Now this is what I want you to do. Step 1 is download the prompts. The link is down in the description. I've created a free Google Doc. All you need to do is take it and it's formatted ready for you to use. Just add your information. Download it and save it somewhere where you can access it easily. Step 2 is use at least one this week. Give it a try. Don't try and memorize all 5. Just save the document. Pick one, and the one that saves your current biggest pain point. If you're stuck on a decision, use the decision clarity prompt. Drowning in email, use the email response generator. Use it once. See how it feels. See the effect that it has. Tweak the prompt. You'll be surprised how much time you save by using a simple prompt like this. And then step 3, adjust and iterate. Make these prompts yours. I mean, if you want to put in business context, you don't have to every time put in business context and copy it. Just make the prompt that includes your business context, includes who you are, includes the problems or the issues that you face generally, and then you don't have to keep putting that and just change the information based on the actual problem that you face at that time. But by changing these things and trying out new things, iterating the prompt until it works properly, these prompts becomes yours, something that you're comfortable using and that gives you the result, most importantly, that you want. And over time, you'll collect your own collection of prompts that work specifically for you and your business. Look, I'm not an AI expert. I'm someone that's been playing with it for the last 3 years. I didn't study prompt engineering. I'm just a business owner who realized AI is a tool, and tools should make life more easy, not more complicated. These 5 prompts makes life a lot easier, and they will do the same for you. So download these prompts, use them this week, and let me know how it goes in the comments. And if this was helpful, hit the subscribe button. I'm publishing practical AI guidance every week, and this is for South African business owners that wants result, not just theory. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.